Brittany.
I'm Berkeley.
And I'm Allison.
And this is
Books Uncorked.
Hey guys.
Hello.
I would like to say that we, just saw each other. We just got together. But actually, we've been together for about 3 hours now. At first, it was just, we were shooting the shit, getting ready, eating, all that stuff. And then the technical difficulties started.
So many technical difficulties.
Like one thing and then another. We tried to use Brittany, i.e. me. We tried to use my old MacBook.
Shout out to MacBooks, yeah.
Yeah, I love them, but mine's just it's past its heyday.
It's had a good life.
Yeah, I'm still gonna love it.
It's trying.
It's just not made for podcasting anymore.
On the bright side, I do have a computer that's made for podcasting, but we had to leave the Casa to go get it.
Yeah.
We went on an adventure.
And now we're here 3 hours later, ready to fucking record.
Finally.
Boop, boop.
On the also upside, Berkeley and Allison have had lots of time to pregame.
On the downside, Brittany hasn't.
Wah, wah, wah.
I realized as I was saying that it made it sound like I was dealing with most of the technical difficulties. I wasn't. Allison is I am the equipment person. I set up that shit. But then Allison, it sounds like she's peeing. She's just pouring out of her box wine. Allison is actually our technical support. She's IT.
Oh, official.
She's the IT department. But IT department forgot her computer. So she kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
Hey, wait, I'm sorry.
She's not.
Can we just backtrack there for a second? Because I called you.
I said, I think it'll be fine. We won't blame me if I'm wrong, right?
And I said, no, it won't be anybody's fault. But now here we are, and Allison's taking the blame.
It's all Allison's fault.
Okay.
Well,
that's a great part to end the podcast.
We'll see you next week. Everything's my fault. Goodbye.
Bi-weekly.
Anyway.
We'll see you in 2 weeks.
So, speaking of 2 weeks, Brittany, how was your week?
My week was rough. It was rough. It's kind of hard to explain, except for normally there's 3 people doing what I do. My boss, me, and then another person. But we don't have a third person in that position right now. So my boss and I have been splitting it, which has been a lot, but we've been able to manage it. And then my boss was out unexpectedly. He had a death in his family, which is so terrible, and I don't fault him for being out even in the least. But it did mean that I had everyone's responsibilities. And on top of that, I had some big projects that were coming to head of my own. So it was a little bit of a shit show. But I think I thrived.
Well, I'm proud of you for thriving.
It's a lie. I think I did well most of the week.
It's your time to shine.
You know what? Brittany always thrives in every situation, and it drives me kind of nuts being her friend.
I'm sorry it drives you nuts, but how nice. I feel so loved.
No, that's fucking true, though. She thrives, in the worst of times. Brittany comes through so hardcore. But this isn't an emotional podcast, so Berkeley, how was your fucking week?
It pretty fucking sucked, too.
What'd you do?
Lots of house buying shit. Lots of paperwork, lots of negotiating, and lots of bullshit.
Poor Berkeley. She's getting a new house.
Berkeley's being an adult and wants to complain about being an adult.
I do.
I'm just kidding. It sounds miserable.
It sucks ass, and I don't know. At this point, I don't even know if we're gonna get the house because these people are being bitches.
No.
I want the house so bad, Allison. I do. I want it.
I want it more. I want the house more than you do. Berkeley's going to live by me, so I really need that to happen.
I hope it comes through.
When I say by me, I just mean in Yukon.
Yeah, it's
not just
not 2 houses down.
Yeah, it's not like she lives next door to me. She just lives in my city.
Yukon's basically one neighborhood. So you could say she lives in your neighborhood.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so we know how Berkeley's we know how Berkeley's week went. The one who hasn't pre-gamed. Can't talk.
Berkeley's pre-gamed.
I'm talking about myself. I can't speak.
Oh.
Drink more wine.
I'm working on it.
Please.
Okay, now you guys are making me feel terrible.
Ooh, that's the
Allison,
point.
how was your week?
Okay.
Berkeley, you're such a bitch.
I know.
Well.
That doesn't sound good.
Okay.
Don't say anything that will get you in trouble at work.
Thank you. That's really why the pause was so long and the gasp happened.
Long story short.
Lying isn't good. Don't lie about people. Don't lie about anything about them. Just, you know what? Don't lie. Why are you doing
Liars
that?
fucking suck. You guys are dicks.
Yeah, but I love my students to my core, and I would fight to the end of the earth for them, and that's how my week went. And we're going to end it with that, because honestly,
I'm good with it.
I can't say anything else about it.
I have lots of questions.
Okay. You can ask 2.
Who's the liars
That's
in
the
the situation? Is it the students
No.
or parents?
It's not the students.
No comment.
Okay, so that gives me the answer I need. Second question. How do you handle those situations? What do you do?
Honesty and
Fortunately,
kindness.
yes. Fortunately, I have a boss who is very supportive and knows who I am, not only as a teacher, but I feel like has come to know me as a human being and knows that, as a person with anxiety, it's not in my DNA to lie, because guess what? People with anxiety can't lie because we're anxious about when the lie is going to get found out, because guess what? Lies always come to the surface. So no, I can't lie. So he knows I'm being honest. And just in the teacher side of things, and as a parent, because I'm a parent too, like, as a parent, I understand wanting the best for your kid. I get that. But there is nothing that I would ever lie about another human being to. I don't even know what their goal was, honestly. Honestly, I really don't. But fortunately, again, I have a boss that supports me, which is rare. I mean, sadly, it's rare in the education community. And you know what? If you're a teacher, find administration that supports you, because it is important. And that's where we'll end on that. So, Berkeley, how's the husband?
I think he's great. He's drinking some Japanese sake.
Oh.
Yeah, and drinking some yummy Japanese beer and drink
Because he's just in
we can say he's in Japan.
Okay.
Yeah, we can say
I was trying to figure out a way to backtrack
No,
from
we
that.
can't be specific about what part of Japan, but like Japan
Well, that's
in
good, 'cause I
general.
have no fucking clue.
Yeah.
I don't know where he's at
Exactly.
in Japan
Yeah,
either.
Japan in general, South Pacific. You know, he's
Sounds good.
lots of sashimi, lots
Okay.
of sushi.
Okay.
And I think he's loving his life. He wishes he could get laid, but like other than that, he's good to go. He loves the Asian life.
Shut up, Berkeley. You wish you could get laid too.
I am so sexually deprived. It's not even funny, but
Mom,
it's okay.
close your ears. Berkeley's not sexually anything.
I'm so sorry,
She's
Patricia.
married. She has a baby.
Yeah, I will make a second one right now too.
Oh my God, Janice, shut your earlobes.
Please, Janice.
Okay, Allison, what's your relationship with that? Do you think it might be complicated?
Always.
That doesn't even scratch the surface.
Okay, complicated. Like I said, always. I am. You know what? Fuck my relationship status. How's yours, Brittany?
Fuck my relationship status. No, there's no fucking. We're exactly where we were at the last podcast, which is very disappointing.
Wah wah.
So, if you didn't listen to the first podcast or the last podcast, I mean,
Or the
of all,
first. They're all the same.
jerks. Yeah, the status is pretty much the same the whole time. I'm still super single. I'm still talking to the same guy, and it's just shocking. I'm very annoyed he still hasn't asked me out. At this point, I'm, like, losing the attraction. Because, like, we're moving past, like, the sweet, like, fun crush stage. And we're moving into, like, now I'm, like, if this were a relationship, maybe there would be more I liked about you already. But we're still talking, so now I'm really, like, it's just...
That's annoying.
Yeah. But, yeah, that's it. I mean, I still like him, but I'm kind of moving past the, like, if you liked me enough, you would ask me out.
You heard it, gentlemen. Brittany's looking.
Brittany, how do you feel about a long-distance relationship with a Marine?
I mean, if he wants to support me... I'm just kidding. If he wants to support my, like, fun activities and that my paychecks can just solely go to student loans, that'd be nice.
Oh my god. Goals. That is fantastic.
Goals, pay off student loans. I'm just kidding.
No, not, though.
Yeah, I'm into it. You know, that sounds basically like every relationship I've ever been in. Just talk on the phone.
Until May.
Until May?
Yeah, but then I'd be screwed.
Oh,
then I'd have to actually see him.
Oh.
Just
Awkward.
Just kidding. I'm just...
Brittany's just as much of a
so
joy
ready to be
in
in a
real
relationship.
life as she is in your earphones.
Honestly, I think I'm more of a joy.
In real life?
My facial expressions are...
Killer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I say a lot
with
facial
her face.
expressions.
You don't have to say shit.
Yeah.
Your face says it all.
Thank you.
Beautiful,
Okay.
expressive, all of the above.
Let's move into what wines we're drinking tonight, ladies.
All of it.
Yeah, Allison, what aren't you drinking?
Okay, so for
Jack
real.
and Coke. That's what she's not drinking. Everything
That's,
else
oh god,
in her
fuck the
body.
whiskey. Okay, I am drinking, that is a consonant vowel, consonant,
spell
consonant,
it.
vowel.
Say it.
Vella. So,
Can you tell she's a teacher? That's bitch.
I had to see if it was a long E or a
Okay.
short E. I'm drinking Vella Moscato Sangria out of a box.
I am not drinking wine tonight.
Traitor.
It is a Tito's.
Book's uncorked.
I know, it's a Tito's night.
None of us used corks tonight.
Thank you, vodka.
What are you mixing that Tito's with?
I got some sugar-free Monster because they did not have sugar-free Red Bull at the liquor store.
Hose.
Berkeley's going to have a heart attack after this. So next on our bi-weekly podcast, so in 2 weeks when it's a different person, no, it's because Berkeley had a heart attack.
They will be having the podcast at my funeral.
Yeah, we're gonna live cast Berkeley's funeral. It's gonna be a rager.
Will you please?
No.
You're all
Oh.
invited to Berkeley's
We'll be
funeral.
crying.
I'm very disappointed.
I am drinking a Bota box, whatever you want to call it, Pinot Grigio. It's a 2017 California. I have no idea what that really means other than I really
Ooh.
like it. 40 wine enthusiast best buys.
It would be,
So, I mean, over 30 gold medals.
phonetically, it would be Bada.
Okay, I'm into it. I don't care.
I like Boda.
No.
Okay, so let's move into the book.
Okay.
Are you guys ready for the book?
I don't know. I was
I'm
trying
ready
to
for
figure
the
out the phonics of
I think
BOTA.
so.
Okay, Berkeley, I slid the book over to you. It's on the ground next to you because I realized we didn't ever discuss this, but it's your turn to read the synopsis because you picked this mother effing book.
What
I
is this
did.
mother effing book? Berkeley Killjoy?
Killjoy. Berkeley Killjoy. That's your new name.
No. Okay.
I'm just going to call you Killjoy for
This
short.
is The Handmaid's Tale by Margret Atwood.
Tell us about it, girl.
Do I need to read the whole back?
Yes.
I mean, the whole synopsis.
That's
I
what
don't
we
know what else
did.
is on the back.
Don't try to shortcut your
Berkeley, you can
homework,
do
you
this.
cheater.
Offered is a handmaid in the Republic of Gilead.
Gilead.
Oh my gosh.
Excuse me, Gilead?
We're not in school.
She may leave the home of the commander and his wife once a day to walk to food markets whose signs are now pictures instead of words because women are no longer allowed to read. She must lie on her back once a month and pray that the commander makes her pregnant because in an age of declining births, Offred and the other handmaids are valued only if their ovaries are viable. Offred can remember the years before when she lived and made love with her husband, Luke, when she played with and protected her daughter, when she had a job, money of her own, and access to knowledge. But all of that is gone now. ... Funny, unexpected, horrifying, and altogether convincing, The Handmaid's Tale is at once scathing satire, dire warning, and tour de force.
I don't remember ever laughing. What was funny about that?
I did not laugh once.
I'm trying to remember if I did, but I don't think I did.
Who gave that review? Funny.
I didn't
Let's
like
call
that
them on their
synopsis.
shit.
Yeah.
Okay, I laugh. Oh, I did laugh at a time. I'll tell you about it.
Okay, yes.
Not at this moment, because I really want to talk about it later.
Cliffhanger.
Yeah, you guys, you tune in for talking about the
Keep
commander.
listening to know what Brittany laughed at.
Okay, so Allison,
Mm-hmm.
tell us, did you finish the book?
I did finish the book. I finished it Tuesday.
So that was like 4 days ago, 3 days ago?
Yes.
How many days ago was that? Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 3 days ago. I have bad math skills. I'm an engineer.
I mean, it's okay. You
Okay.
just talked to my students today. No big deal.
Burke?
When did you finish the book? Or did you?
I did not finish the book.
Are you kidding? You picked this book?
I know, and I hate myself for it because I wanted to finish it so bad. I just had so much house stuff going on this last 2 weeks.
Oh
that
my
I
god,
have
how far did you get?
I got 3/4.
Oh, I'm
So
we're
I'm
gonna
very-
ruin the shit out of this at
No,
the
no,
very
no.
end of the podcast.
No, I've watched the series, so I know exactly what happens. I know how it ends.
No, you don't.
I do. I know exactly how it ends.
Yeah, she does, because I've watched the series too.
That weird ending?
Yes. Yeah. I
That's
know.
in the series. It's in the
Oh,
TV
wow.
series.
Odd.
So I hate myself, and I'm gonna finish it tomorrow. I know most of what happens.
Okay, wait. So tell me where you ended.
She just had sex with Nick.
Ooh, okay. That's a good place to end.
It's the best place to end.
Okay, so Brittany, did you finish the book?
Guys.
Oh my god.
Oh, I finished the book.
I was like, if I'm the only one that finished this
Funny
book.
enough, I finished the book on Tuesday as well. I started it last week. I'm trying to remember when I started it exactly. I think I started it like Monday or Tuesday of last week. Like 2 weeks ago. So.
I started this book pretty late. Usually right after the podcast and right after the book is picked, I download it on Audible and I just devour it because I just want the ability to listen to it as much as possible if I want to listen to it again. AKA last week's book, which was a handful.
That was a lot of information.
It was. But yeah, this week I started late too. So interesting.
I
yeah,
actually bought this book.
You read it physically?
Yes, 2 weeks ago I bought it. I'm like, I'm gonna
that's
read.
why you didn't finish it?
I
said I'm
Audible it.
going to read the shit out of this book. I'm buying it. I love to read physical books in front of my face, and I left it at my mom's house whenever I went to my mother-in-law's house 3 days ago, and so I had to Audible this shit, and I am not good at Audible.
That's so interesting. Okay, I'm with you. I love reading paper books. Like, there's just something to me. It's like you're taking time out. Like, it's like my like treat. You know?
Yes.
But Audible is more of like, I'm enjoying reading this, but this is not like my...
It's not the priority.
Honestly, I think that's why I have a problem. Like, I love teaching. I wouldn't trade it for the world. But, like, for example, right now, I'm reading to my students A Dog Called Kitty by Bill Wallace.
Mm-hmm.
And I read every day for 15 minutes straight out loud to my kids. And then I read curriculum. And then I read this. And then I read that. And I'm like, I cannot read anymore. I just need to listen. So I think that's why I can't technically, I just don't read for enjoyment anymore. I listen for enjoyment. So I did listen to this book on Audible. Thanks, Audible. Support us.
So I think we're ready to move into the book, but first we're going to give a spoiler alert. I don't think you can fully grasp this book without reading the whole thing. There's so many weird, wonky details that like you can't. I feel like we say this about every book, but to be fair, we've read a lot of like not weird books, but
Fucked
like
up books.
not even like this one was for sure, but 6 years was, yeah, it was kind of fucked up.
I wasn't here for 6 years. That was pre-Berkeley.
Oh, you're right.
The pre-Berkeley area.
BB
Era.
before Berkeley.
Oh, shit.
That was so funny. Okay, so, but this is an iffy book. There is some, it is rape. There's no doubt about it being rape.
Yeah.
But
It's a different kind of...
It's the ceremony.
Yeah, it's a ceremony, and I mean, she's not like... she's not willing, don't get me wrong.
It's rape that saves her life.
Yeah, so she's... I don't know. But I would say that that's a trigger. I can't definitively say that, but I would say that it is. Allison's alarm's going off. What do you need to do?
I just lost my phone, but it was important for me to find it.
Apple Watch is coming in clutch, apparently. But yeah, so that's our spoiler alert. So let's jump right in to our first topic, which is jumping around.
Jump around.
No,
we can't. We can't afford the copyright rights.
I don't think we'll get in trouble for that, but it's fine.
I don't know. Okay. I don't want to take a chance on it.
Anyways, let's do this. Okay.
We're poor.
So,
I'm a teacher.
This book does not go in chronological order.
Not at all.
To some extent, it kind of does. Like, I would say almost in the main story, but there is a shit ton of flashbacks. And at least in the Audible version, it is not necessarily clear in the moment when you're flashing back, when you're flashing forward, like what the fuck's going on.
It's really hard to grasp where you're at in time sometimes because you don't realize that she's talking about like her husband in the past life.
Yeah, like sometimes she's talking about Luke, sometimes she's talking about the commander, sometimes she's talking about Nick. Like, who the fuck you talking about, bitch?
She's got too many hoes.
Too many hoes. I gotta adjust. Okay. So that was like just annoying to me, honestly.
Really?
I don't know how, to be fair, I don't know how I would have preferred the author to do it.
Yeah.
I don't know how there was a better way. So, I am, the way my brain works just is, and that's part of like why I do what I do. The way my brain works is like, yeah, that might have sucked, but how would you do it better? And I feel like if you can't figure out a way to do it better, you can't say that was the wrong way to do it. So I can't necessarily... Yeah, hashtag engineer. So I can't really say that it was the wrong way to do it, but I wish that Margret, I wish she would have found a better way.
I think that was the best... Personally, I think this is the best way she could have done it because that's the way Offred coped with her reality.
Yeah, I agree.
Was jumping back and forth.
I think she had to transport herself back to the past to be able to deal with the present. And I think as someone with a very active imagination who needs to escape sometimes, I get it. No, I mean, I'm definitely not going through anything that Offred went through, but I mean, like...
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, I'm just saying that, like, to be able to imagine yourself someone different is it's a talent. Utilize it.
I will say, like, I think it's okay to spoil it in the sense of, like, so this story is being told by Offred, and I feel like you find out at the end that she's telling it after the fact. So I went through the whole book thinking of it as a normal novel where you're just in the character's head throughout the experience.
Right.
But at the end, which we'll talk about a little bit more later,
which Berkeley doesn't know
discover, about. Yeah, Berkeley.
Well, actually, I do kind of know about it because I watched the series last year, and so I did a lot of in-depth research about the series because that's just how I am, and they went into depth about how the end of the book was.
That's interesting.
I do kind of know how the book ends and like where it
it breaks off. It's almost like this is more of like a biography, right? So it's a self-telling,
a memoir.
Yeah, it's
maybe?
almost like a memoir, but she's telling it after the fact. So that helped me. I almost wished I had realized. I wished I'd realized that at the beginning because that would have helped me, like, understand more of where the book was going. Because sometimes I was like, where the fuck are we?
Actually, honestly, when she said, there's a point in the book where she says, you'll be disappointed in me for this decision. Something along those lines. She said something like that. And I was like, oh, she's telling this later. She survives.
Yeah. That's a good point. I didn't catch that, but that is a good point.
Because up until that point, I was concerned about her safety. Is Offred safe? Will she make it through this terrible...
Shit, yeah.
Yeah.
I thought for sure Offred. In the book, they call her of Fred. Or, I mean, in the Audible, they call her of Fred, and I prefer that.
We heard a different Audible because I heard Offred.
Same. Thank you, Claire Danes.
I don't know.
Thank you, Audible.
But now I had something to say and I totally lost it.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. But I mean, I think this is a good segue into I've lost my mind. And so did the fucking originators of this system in the book. Of the rankings. I mean, holy shit. It's hard to even say rankings so much as like, I was going to change it to classes. But it's hard to even say because I can't say who's on top and who's on bottom.
Okay, but I think we need to say, like, this is a dystopia.
Oh, so, good point.
Like, here's what's happening. It's after recent times. Okay? Women have lost all rights. A bunch of religious men who I'm not really sure what Bible they're following, but it's not a Bible I've ever read.
Well, but it also... That's an interesting point. I'm with you where you're going. I just want to put a little side note. Like, this is a little, like, it's a note in the margin. They specifically never say what, like, section of religion they're following. So they mention different, like, they mention Mormons, they mention Puritans, they mention all these different, like, all these different kind of, sections of religion. But they never really say, at least I didn't catch, what section made this system.
But you do know, because at one point they say the Baptists won a battle, and that was the opposite side. So you know that they're not Baptists.
It's not Baptist. I know, they tell you who
it's not Quakers.
Which is so funny.
Not Jews.
Not Jews.
Catholics.
Not Catholics. So you're like, what kind of religion made this? It's like a new religion, but it's essentially men are in charge. Women can't read. Now, there was some sort of nuclear catastrophe of some sort. I never really was clear on what happened.
They don't make it clear.
No, wait, I want to have an input on that nuclear part.
Okay.
So, they actually don't clearly say... So, they say meltdowns.
Mm-hmm.
So, a nuclear meltdown can happen because, like, something wasn't maintained, because it was attacked, something went wrong. I think the way I interpreted it, and it's not said clearly... So this is my interpretation, was that, like, shit went down the drain, and those were side effects.
Right. And the side effects being that a lot of women are infertile. And
men as well.
Which is totally a reality that we could live in, guys.
Yes. Don't eat GMOs. I'm just kidding.
Don't live near nuclear testing sites.
# I love Chick-fil-A. Anyway, but seriously, like, there's a lot of infertility happening all around. And so then they find these women who have successfully had babies, and essentially they, like, I don't know, make them into slaves.
But it has to be
a good way to say the rankings.
Yeah, okay, it has to be a woman who has committed some type of sin in their life to make them
a handmaid.
Here's what we're gonna do.
Econo wife.
Let's go over the different ranks. I'm going to write them down, and then let's explain them.
Okay,
so you have econo wives.
Which is what, Berkeley?
Wait, just say what. Let's list them, and then we'll explain them. Is that okay?
Yes.
Because I feel like we're going to forget. Econo wives.
Handmaids.
What is Cora?
Is she a Martha?
Yes.
Okay.
You have aunts.
Yes, bitches.
Are they Serena's?
You have
Jezebel's.
Is it just wives? Is the other one just wives?
I don't know, just a wife.
I feel like, at least, like, in the series, they called them, like, Serenas. They were always, like, Serena Joy or Serena whatever they were.
Toss me the book, and while we discuss it, I'm going to look at it.
Here you go.
Yeah, but they're just wives, though. And I just know that they wear blue. That's all I know.
Yeah, okay, so now let's go over them.
Okay.
Oh, and widows.
What?
You have widows, too.
No.
Yes, you do.
I don't
wear
remember
all
that.
black, and they slowly disappear.
Oh.
Pretty sure they just killed them off.
No, they shipped them. They tell you later they shipped them to the
colonies.
Which, where are the colonies, guys? I guess it's wherever. You know what?
It's the nuclear. They make them clean up.
Wherever the nuclear things are. That's where they keep putting them.
Yeah, they do clean up.
And that's why they all die.
Eventually. Of terrible, terrible cancer.
Sickness and
so
illness.
Terrible. Okay.
It is.
Not the widows, the people who put them there.
The widows are okay.
We like those widows.
It sucks, but not as much as going to the colonies. If Josh died and I became a widow, I'd be like, why the fuck did you just die? Now I have to go.
You fucked me over, bro.
Yeah, you fucked me. And not in a good way.
I don't know. I'd be like, can I
have a new husband? Please?
Can I have a new husband? Or, like, honestly, like, I think that would be another good thing to discuss. Like, which rank would you be okay with doing? That's really dark.
What do you think? Okay, where do you think you would be put?
What rank would we be? Actually, I think we should name each other. I think Brittany would be Martha.
Okay, I don't disagree with that, actually, but here's the question. No, but here's the question. This is the terrifying part to me. Especially, you guys have had kids, you know that you can.
Yeah.
And this is a little deep for everyone, but I have not had a child, and to be fair, I've never put myself in the situation where that could be a chance. But I think as a lot of young women probably I fear that maybe I won't be able to have kids. Who knows? I have no reason to really believe that other than my own feelings. But like, if I can't have a baby, how do they decide who's a Martha and who goes to the colonies?
Because the Marthas haven't committed a sin.
I did not realize that. You're so good.
She would still be a Martha.
Yeah.
I would definitely be a Martha, but I would like to think I'm a kind Martha. I think I'm a lovely human.
But you'd
there
be
was
like
one of the Marthas that was awesome to offer, though. One of the Marthas was Cora.
And yeah, also, how did the community get 2 fucking Marthas?
Does everybody have 2 Marthas?
One was cooking Martha, one was household chores Martha.
Yeah, but
which was Cora.
Listen,
Cora
you don't
was
cook
household
all
chores.
fucking day.
She did though. She like made homemade bread. She made like breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Bread.
But like
it's not that.
That's
hard.
all she was doing all day.
Which is why Brittany would be Martha.
But like I think she was like just completely in charge of the kitchen.
Listen,
and
let's
that's
be
like
real.
an all day
I'd be
thing.
killed off. They would
essentially
kill me
you
off
would be
because I'm
Ben.
too much of a bitch.
You would be Ben on Below Deck.
Take out the plates. You're an idiot, Kate. Okay, Allison, I honestly...
You're not going to hurt my feelings.
Handmade.
I think you would be a handmaid, but I think that I don't know if you could. Because you are so, like,
no,
heartfelt.
she would because she has committed the sin of having a baby out of wedlock.
I know, but I don't know if
she would be sent to be a handmaid. And it doesn't matter if she could or not.
It doesn't matter if I could or not. They would like.
She would be brainwashed.
I would be brainwashed, tased until I could
brainwash you. Yeah, they could. Never mind.
That
was an insult.
But Berkeley would be a handmaid too, right?
Well, actually,
I did. I had a baby out of wedlock.
But then she got married to her
year
husband.
later. But like we're married now, so like
I don't know how that works.
But Josh would totally be a guardian.
Ooh.
So like I would totally be his Econo wife, but like it depends.
I think you might be an Econo.
But
it would depend.
It would depend on if like this happened before we were married. Like
if it happened now, I think is how I'm looking at it.
If it happened now,
but I'm still curious if it would matter.
They would send me to go make babies
before
for important people.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh, this is a fucked up way. Okay, but let's explain it. So an Econo wife, Berkeley, tell us what an Econo wife is.
Pretty much the people who did everything they were supposed to before all of this craziness happened, were in the right whatever section of church you were in. They were in the right one. They were doing what they were supposed to do, and so they got rewarded by being an Econo wife. So they're in the middle of the line. They don't get Marthas. Mm-hmm. The husbands don't get handmaids. If the Econo wives happen to have a baby, that's great. If not, it is what it is. That's all you get.
I didn't realize that. I didn't realize that the husbands never got a handmaid if they had an Econo wife.
If you're a guardian, you don't get one. Only if you are a high-ranking official. So you get assigned one. an econo wife.
Okay, so that explains what a housewife or an eco-wife was, but that really leads into, so basically, correct me if I'm wrong, if you feel like I'm wrong, but basically then a handmaid is a high-ranking official's prostitute.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what you're saying.
Someone
Except
who's
it's not
ovaries
somebody-
work.
Well,
But
except
you don't know if the man's sperm works.
They don't most of the time.
but that's the thing is like
Fucking
a handmaid is like
Nuclear.
someone who they're not their prostitute. It's not like they go and enjoy sex with the handmaid.
You're right.
They are in between the wife's legs.
Talk about the worst. I don't even know how the
Serena
man
Joy
finishes.
is a
Guys, I've
fucking cunt
never been that
for
uncomfortable.
squeezing Offred's
Allison,
hands.
can you be real? What would you do in that situation? Honestly, if I was Serena Joy, I'm not saying, listen, I think I'm a compassionate, kind human being. Don't get me wrong. I don't know how I could handle that. Also, I don't think I could possibly be married to a man who would be okay with it. In any way, shape, or form.
It's the law.
I know, but
It's how you live.
okay, but that's the thing. So like, I hate Serena Joy. Don't get me wrong. That's the commander's wife. Oh shoot, we're getting too far ahead. We haven't explained who any of these people are. Serena Joy is the commander's wife, who is where Alfred, the handmaid, is. But Serena Joy is a real fucking bitch to Alfred. And
She's
that
the C
sucks.
word.
Yeah,
She's
that's
the
a big
C word.
Ooh,
I'm not
glad
gonna
you
say
said
it.
C word.
But like, yeah.
I
She
can't
is.
remember if I've said it or if I just thought it.
I
Have
think you
said
just
it?
thought it. I think I
You
would
just
have
thought it.
guessed.
I'm not gonna say it out loud because I don't like that word.
Okay. That word.
I think the situation has made her that way, though.
I agree.
I kind of agree, but throughout the book, you get enough reference of her that she was already this like
Awful.
judgmental, like
Bitchy, prissy, stick
we're
up
all
her ass
Christians.
bitch.
We all love God. I don't think there's good Christians and bad Christians. So
I
I'm not
love
gonna say if we're
Jesus,
good or
Brittany.
bad. But like,
Don't put.
what? No, that's what I said. I said we're all Christians. We're like we love God. No, you said don't put words in my mouth.
I said I love Jesus, Brittany.
Oh, not God. I'm sorry. You can explain the difference to him. Capital H-I-M.
Oh my God.
But Serena Joy is like that, like that judgmental bitch of a Christian that like is a stereotype.
Who none of us are.
Yeah, like it's that like Christian that like 1 in 1,000 who's just a real asshole that makes the rest of us look like shit.
But who
That's Serena
also does not believe in the system and knows that her husband's infertile.
Yeah.
So, like,
Oh my
she
God.
believes in the system, but, like,
She's like, hey, why don't you go have sex with Nick real quick and see what happens?
Yeah, but so yeah, the wives
Just
have,
kind of like throw it out there.
wives, like so I looked in the book. They don't refer to her as at least where I could find anything but the commander's wife or her name. So I don't really know what they call them, if anything other than wives. But they have essentially no mother effing responsibilities. The rest of these bitches are working hard, either on their backs, on their feet. Who knows? These bitches are working hard, and the
Tasing
wives,
bitches.
They
the
get
all
to
sorts of
wives are
shit.
doing shit.
they get to knit all day.
Speaking of tasing bitches, the aunts. The aunts.
Yeah.
I would be good at that.
Berkeley, you're.
Berkeley.
I would be a good aunt.
No, you wouldn't.
I would.
Okay, can we talk about what do they call it? The Red School? The Red Academy?
The Red Center.
The Red Center.
Where they send them to train them to be handmaids, which, mind you, and this story is placed in the time where all of the people in it were also alive when the world was, normal. The world was what we're experiencing now, basically.
Yeah, then you're like going to Walmart and someone arrests you and takes you to a red center and you get tased because you're wearing jeans.
No, Offred herself, she explains it as she never realized what was happening.
Until she got to the red
And
center.
she explained it as a, if you're laying in a bath and they turn the heat up gradually, you're never going to realize you're boiling to death. Because,
Yeah.
like, they're turning up the water so slowly that you're
It
not going to
is-
realize you're dying till you're dying.
It's horrifying. It's also like a total relation to the society we live in, where like we live in a society of like increments. So we do this little by little by little, and eventually we're on this whole other planet.
And you just look around and you're like, how did we get here?
It's like, what just happened?
Yeah.
Why is someone fucking me that is not my husband?
Why am I like?
Where's
why
my
is
husband?
his wife holding me?
Where's my daughter?
Yeah, it's insane. But so the aunts are like the enforcers of the handmaids, and they make them. This is so fucking weird. I never got the point of this. They make them watch like sadistic porn.
Yeah, I never got the point of that either.
Like, why are you trying to make them like porn? You're trying to talk them into like having sex with people, and you're trying to make them like it's literally one of the examples of the porn they made them watch was cutting a woman up all the way, like cutting her into pieces. What? Why would that make any of your handmaids want to have sex?
None of them, but that's a point. They don't want the handmaids to enjoy sex either, though.
It's their duty.
They should know that orgasms help the sperm get to the egg, so they really
where are the scientists in the community?
I just want you to know,
remember?
I did not have an orgasm when I made a baby, so...
Oh, Burke.
That is not a requirement.
Yeah, but it helps, I'm just saying. That's
she fucking went
shots
there.
fired.
I did.
Fired.
Hey.
Okay, so that gives us
Mom, don't
I'm
listen.
so sorry, Josh.
Mom, I'm so sorry.
Okay, so that's the aunts, the ants, whatever we want to call them. The widows.
I can't believe I just said that.
The widows are like, we kind of mentioned this earlier. The widows are slowly like disappearing. They're sent to the colonies.
So are the Jews. They sent Jews over to the homeland.
And the black people.
Yeah, they. Oh my God.
African Americans. They sent them all. The Jewish people.
Did they
The
ever say
African Americans.
African-Americans?
Yeah.
Yes.
What is the PC term now? African American or black? I've heard it both ways. I want to say it with all respect.
I do too.
The last guy I dated was black. He preferred black.
And as people who
It's
are
important to me that I'm
white
not offending.
and have always had we have no idea.
So, I mean, if you want to tweet at us, send us an email. I mean, for real, like, I'm not trying to start a race conversation, but I just want to make sure I'm being kind.
Yes.
Anyways, sorry, I didn't mean to bring that into it.
No, but that's one of the things
that's important.
That, like, the show, Moira was African American, and her husband and her child
that's not in the
were
book
half.
a little bit.
They're not in the book, and so they made it a point in the show.
I really don't think in the book that's ever mentioned.
It's not.
Because you know what?
It is mentioned actually because they say like they're sent somewhere else, but like it's implied that they're just killed.
I do remember in the book thinking, what happened to like? Because I do remember them talking about. I can't remember if they say white or Caucasian or something, but they say something to the extent of it's all white people, and I just remember thinking, there's nowhere in the United States you could go that it's literally only white people.
Yeah, no, they kill all. Everyone. They're all killed, and
it gets worse and worse.
That was the biggest point of the show is that they didn't want a show with just all white people.
Right.
That's insane.
But that's the thing is like you can't.
We are like way behind schedule, guys.
Okay,
let's move on to the next.
Move on.
Quickly, Marthas are basically
maids.
Like, maids
that
cooks,
don't have
whatever.
to have sex with the commanders.
Yes. They don't have sex with anyone because they can't have babies.
Yeah,
they're
because
super
they're
duper
not
bitter.
handmaids because they can't lift a hand.
Jezebels
wink,
are
wink.
prostitutes, but not necessarily by choice.
They did not cut it.
But they are basically non-existent in society. Like the society at a large don't know about them. Only the high-ranking officials know about them.
They're a bunch of fucking hoes.
That's all the rankings I have written down.
Hypocritopotamuses is my...
But so then there's also like the men. They're also ranked to some extent, but the book really doesn't go into men. This book is very much female centered, which is interesting because the society
is very male centered.
But I would honestly say the society is somewhat female centered as well. Not that the females are treated as very important. I'm not saying they're valued, but females are very important in this society.
Because without them, they couldn't have babies.
They're important, like in America, technology is important.
Right.
They're not important as humans. They're important as objects. Which
right.
Is
That's a very good way to put it.
But so you have men, if you're a high-ranking official, like you're a commander, if you've done something to add value, significant value, not just physical value, I'm a worker. You're higher ranking. It doesn't necessarily get into it. And actually, that's an interesting point of, like, we don't know what the commander does.
No.
He's a commander. No one knows what a commander of what.
We know that he probably is the one that wrote the law.
Mm-hmm.
He's pretty high ranking.
He literally is the one that wrote the law.
But the handmaid didn't know that. Alfred didn't know.
Alfred didn't know.
That was a pretty big point. Also, the women, everyone but the wives, they're not supposed to, like, socialize with each other. They're not allowed to talk to each other. The Marthas kind of are, but it's not necessarily encouraged. But, like, the handmaids are not supposed to talk to each other. They're supposed to basically live, like, a isolated existence. They're allowed to be around each other, but they're not allowed to speak to each other.
Right.
How fucking weird.
Just make babies.
Hey, Berkeley. Blessed be the fruit.
May the Lord open.
It's not
It's
open.
a beautiful May Day.
People up now. Okay. So the commander.
Ugh.
In this book, I picture the commander and Serena Joy to be in their, like, 50s.
Yes.
Late 50s.
Yes, that was what was surprising for me because I watched the show first. So as the book was describing them, in the show they're much younger. But in the book, I'm picturing, like, George Clooney.
Is it?
Yeah.
I imagine Fred being freaking Gerard Butler.
Oh, that's another really good one. George Clooney, Gerard Butler.
And I
Gerard Butler
I
should
love to
never be
hate
in a
him.
position like that.
I love to hate Fred.
Oh,
Okay.
But Gerard Butler, hello.
I know. I don't want Gerard Butler. I want Gerard Butler to be
Okay,
Nick.
fine, Brittany. Who are you? I don't know your name. Brittany.
Britley?
Brittany. Who do you want to be Fred?
I want someone I hate to be Fred because I love Gerard Butler.
I just can't hate Fred. I try. I just can't.
Let's talk about him.
Okay.
So also in the book, we don't know he's Fred until the very end, and it's...
But she's a Fred.
Yeah, I
know,
knew
but
he was Fred.
I assumed that name because when she refers to the other handmaiden that's gone, she refers to her as still of whatever. And the new one has a different name.
But she has the same name.
No, they have the same name.
Oh, I didn't catch that. I'm stupid. I'm not stupid, but I didn't catch that.
Yeah, you're an engineer. You're not stupid.
You are
That
probably
does not
smarter
mean a
than both of us combined.
That's not true. Anyways, I didn't realize that though until the very end. But so the commander can basically do whatever the fuck he wants. If he tempts the handmaiden into doing something that she shouldn't do, guess who's fucking punished?
The handmaid.
It's bullshit.
Bitches.
Like literally, the aunts, whatever, tell them, if you don't let yourself be tempted because you'll be the one killed.
Right. Except you can't say no to the commander because guess what? If you say no to the commander,
It's still your fault.
you still get killed.
Yeah.
Also, if you say no to the creepy gynecologist, whose fault is it? Your fault. Guess what? You better be polite to every fucking man you see because guess what? If you're impolite, you're going to get hung on the wall.
On the wall. Oh my gosh. That's not even on our list to talk about, but the wall.
The wall.
I'm back to the gynecologist thing. Like, only
Yeah, okay,
it's only
so-
halfway creepy.
You know, honestly, I agree with you, Berkeley.
He's being helpful.
What?
Because, okay, here's the thing.
Those women get killed.
I want
He
to
was
say
looking
it.
at her vagina
No,
and
I wanna say it.
propositioning her.
I want to say it. Here's the
Okay.
thing. So basically, to give you guys an overview, if a handmaiden, they get 3 rotations of 2 years each. If they don't have a child in any of those 3 rotations, they get sent to the colonies, and it's assumed that they're infertile.
And they will die in the
Because,
colonies.
yes, the colonies is basically a death sentence. Or they can get put on the wall, I guess. I don't know. But, and I guess technically we found out they could be a Jezebel, but they don't know that.
Right.
But, like, so sometimes, not even sometimes, a lot of the people in the story are infertile because of the nuclear effects. And that kind of alludes to that. It kind of mentions it a couple times. But, like, the men are just as affected as the women. So if you think about it, they send over a ton of women who are infertile now, but no men. So how likely are you to get a man who's fertile? So this gynecologist is like, hey, listen, he might be infertile. You're going to get killed. This is her 3rd rotation. you might get killed. Do you want me to try and get you pregnant?
Because he knows that he's not infertile. But let me tell you.
Yeah, he's a shithead for trying. But also, you could also look at it like he would be a shithead for not, because he knows she's going to die.
No.
It's her third rotation.
She is dead if she doesn't get pregnant. And this commander has never gotten a handmaid pregnant. Did we make a point you hadn't thought about?
He sucks.
No,
but
I'm just saying
also...
that the gynecologist isn't doing it. He doesn't. The gynecologist isn't doing it for her. I'm not saying that you guys aren't right. Like, yeah, you're right. If she doesn't,
how do you know what the gynecologist was thinking?
Because he knows that he can get her pregnant, right?
The gynecologist knows that the gynecologist can get her pregnant?
Right.
It's kind of a saving grace, if you ask me.
Okay, fine. But how does he know he can get her pregnant? Because he's done it
before.
many times before. Because he's a fucking rapist asshole. Just like the rest of these fucking assholes.
I agree that the situation is really fucked up. But I feel like in fucked up situations, fucked up things have to happen.
I would rather go to the colonies.
It's in his... No.
Which he allowed her to make that choice. She said no. He didn't do anything about it. You know what I mean?
You know what's funny? Is that they never bring up the gynecologist again.
Yeah, she never goes back.
Actually, I feel like he said that he wasn't there the next time.
You're right.
That she went.
Oh my gosh, you are right.
You're so right. Okay, let's kind of move.
She was asking about it.
We are so behind. It's fine. It's fine, guys. This is going to be a little bit longer podcast. It's fine.
Allison, can I have some of your wine?
Yeah.
Thank you.
So, Berkeley, why don't you pour out your ice? Because your cup is help. It's fine.
It's what?
Too late.
Is it loud?
A little bit, but it's okay.
I apologize.
I don't. It's
okay.
What's next, Brittany?
I'm gonna get it.
So, Allison really wanted to make sure we talked about the nightclub. So, I don't want to move on until we talk about that. So,
Hey. Oh, it's the Jezebels. I made up that song. Copyright it, bitches.
You made up A-O? That's how we're going to get
It's the Jezebels.
Okay. So, the nightclub, I'm just going to give an overview and Allison can discuss it.
Okay.
So, the nightclub is something that does not exist, basically. The commander takes the handmaid, Alfred, to the nightclub.
Who's Alfred?
Shut up, Fred, whatever.
Alfred.
I don't even care. Takes her there, and it's basically where I don't know what to call the Jezebels, what to compare them to other than prostitutes. But honestly,
they're not, because they're not getting paid. God.
I know, but to be
They
fair,
fuck
in this
to
society,
survive.
I think you could compare most prostitutes to that. They fuck to survive. I don't think most prostitutes probably do it for fun.
We're not saying the correct term.
What?
Sex workers.
Sex workers. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to offend anyone.
No, I'm just saying. No.
I know you weren't judging me.
To be clear, I was correcting Brittany out of love. I want to show respect to everyone.
Yeah,
the correct term.
I agree.
Is sex worker. We would like to use correct terms here. If we use a term that offends you, you're not going to offend us by telling us that was a term that offended you. Now,
and tell us why and tell us what we should say so that we know how to be better.
Right.
We're under no impression that we are as good as we can be.
Right. And so, but to be clear, sex workers in this book, okay, so
they're doing this so they can survive.
Right. So Moira talks about it which is Alfred's best friend before the world turned to shit.
And also lesbian, which is an interesting note to take.
Yes. And so I'm just thinking about this poor, sweet girl who has now been forced. She was in the Red Center, and she broke out like the badass that she is.
Fucking her ass.
Yes. And then turns out and gets taken again. And, I mean, she was so close to escaping. And, it was essentially what did they call it? The underground. It wasn't the Underground Railroad, obviously, but it was a playoff of that.
It's almost like Woman Road or Female Road.
It was literally Underground Female Road or something like that.
Yeah.
So she was on that, and she talks about multiple times, like, feeling guilty about the guy that was helping her get across into Canada because he got shot and killed. And his wife. Him and his wife got murdered trying to get her to safety. And she got captured, and now she's a sex worker in this club
for
just...
The Underground Frail Road.
Okay.
Isn't that interesting?
It is.
Frail.
That's
Even the
not...
people trying to help them were disrespecting them. Fuck everyone.
Yeah.
Women, we can't rely on anyone but ourselves.
Seriously. But
love men where you're at. I'm not saying men suck. I'm just saying.
Men are good in bed, and that's about it. Anyway.
That's not true. I have
Sorry,
4
Mom.
brothers. Most of them are kick-ass.
Most.
One of them has a really shitty wife.
Oh. Anyway. So, but I would like to say shout out to my brothers, Garth and Dan. You are really great people. And anyway.
God, we're so over our time. Okay, we've got to kind of wrap up some, though.
Okay, so but for real, like, she breaks out. She's a sex worker now. The only benefit she says is, like, we get all the cigarettes and drugs and drink that we want. We can fuck women. They even encourage it. Mm-hmm. And, you know, whatever. And it's just kind of like, Offred is so upset. Not at her friend.
And
but
she's not upset for where she's at either.
Right. But to see that her friend has been beaten down into accepting this lifestyle. Not that being... No. Let me take that back.
I think you said it well.
Well, let me just say, like, accepting that their life could get better than this. Mm-hmm. That she couldn't progress from where she was at.
It was almost like
she was like, I'm gonna die a sex worker, and that's how it's gonna be.
It's her point of view of it. I would think would be the way a lot like a comparable thing would be to like look at a friend who's in like an abusive relationship.
Yeah.
And the friend is just like, this is where I'm at. It's fine. It is what it is.
That's where I feel like Offred fails here because she's essentially at the same place as Moira is.
I completely agree, but she judges Moira for it.
And
Moira.
That's not that. I feel like that's the point where like I feel like Offred fails as a character because she is still in a sense doing the same thing that her friend is doing.
See, now you say that's how she fails. I say that's what makes her human. That's what made her human to me. Because a lot of us can look at where we're at and accept it and judge where someone else is at.
I agree. I was mad at Offred, though.
I totally agree.
As a reader, I was just so mad at her.
What's her friend supposed to do?
But I think that she always thought of her as the stronger of the two.
I think that's really why she was disappointed.
So, like, to put it in perspective, Berkeley, you have been my friend since birth. I adore you. And I know that if any time I get in a situation that's aggressive, you'll be the first one to step up for me. Or for yourself, right? And Brittany, while I haven't been your friend since birth, I've been your friend for 5 years, and you will be the first one to add logic to a situation. So if
Just so logical.
that is true. That's true. But that's the thing is like those are the qualities that I adore in our friendships. And so if we ever came to a point where I saw that gone, if I saw Berkeley's spunkiness gone, or Brittany's love for the logic gone, it would be disappointing. It would be heartbreaking. So, I mean, that's just how it is.
Yeah.
Hello.
Sorry, we took a little pause for a second.
Yeah.
We didn't tell you before, but we did. So I think we wrapped up the Commander. Let's talk about how this book ended. We're going a little over today, guys. I know it's going to be a little longer than an hour. We don't care.
Not even a little. This book deserved it.
It did. Okay, so the end of this book. The way this book ends is it starts a historical note, which, if I'm being real, on most books, if I read historical note, I'm like, I'm not reading that. Why do I care?
Honestly, when
this
it
book
started,
is very important.
When I started it, I was like, is this important?
It says historical notes on the Handmaid's Tale, and then I was like, okay, I'm gonna stop listening. But I was listening to this while I was doing something at work, so I wasn't touching my phone, and I was like, I'm not paying attention. It's fine. But then this is how it starts. It's like being a partial transcript of the proceedings of the 12th Symposium and Galadian Studies, held as a part of the International Historical Association Convention, which took place at the University of Dene, word I can't say, on June 25th, 2125. I was like, okay, I guess this is something I need to listen to, because obviously that's not a date I've lived through.
But also, funny thing, you were at work, couldn't find your, couldn't change the things on your phone. I was in the shower. If it would have been, historical notes on the Handmaid's Tale, and I wasn't in the shower, I would have been done. Mm-hmm. I finished the fucking book. But I was in the shower.
I was curious.
And my phone was on the speaker. My phone was on the speaker. And so I was, washing my hair, and I was like, well, shit, I guess I'll listen to the historical notes on the Handmaid's Tale.
I did not make it this far.
Okay, so honestly, the historical notes wrapped the book up for me so much better.
Yeah. So essentially they were like, we found a box of recordings in Canada, right?
Maybe. I think it might have been in Maine.
Right. It's
near Canada.
And they were like, we don't really know if this Offred character, because essentially in the book they never say her name. If you watch the show, you know she's June. But, yeah, essentially, they wrap it up and they're like, we don't know what happened to her after this. There's no indications of where she went, how she lived, if she had her baby. Because in the end of the book, you found out that she's pregnant with Nick.
Was she?
Yes.
I don't remember the confirmation. I believe you. I'm not doubting you. I just mean I don't remember.
It's highly insinuated.
Yes. Maybe I'm just taking that from the show, but yes, in the book, she says I know I'm pregnant, da 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 da, and that's when the eyes come and get her is a week later. Mm-hmm. But I believe that.
Oh, I remember
that Nick, because he is an eye, set that up. Was okay, she's pregnant with my baby. I have to get her out of the situation.
Because the wife found out the commander was fucking around.
Yeah. She wasn't happy about it.
Because basically, also, I don't know if we completely mentioned this, the commander is literally not allowed to have any contact with the handmaid except for that monthly obligation.
The sexual obligation?
But the ending, especially me as I'm an engineer, I'm more scientifically minded. That's just how my brain works. It has nothing to do with education or that kind of thing, but it gives you kind of an idea of who I am, how my head works. I am a fact-based person. So the historical ending is this, a scientist basically. It's a historian, who I would consider a scientist, someone who studies history. I realize you all know what a historian is. It's giving all these facts of the little details in the book that didn't really make sense that are now making more sense.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I think the best part of the book was the historical notes.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
it was listening to a college professor
that you wanted to listen to.
That that you liked. It's the college professor that you always wanted to go to class for because he always had good shit to say. And, it was definitely an interesting way to end the book, but I loved it. I absolutely loved it. Now, I don't know if I would love it if I didn't have the TV show to give you more of a close, but I will say that I binged the shit out of the TV show as soon as I finished the book.
I was about to ask Berkeley what she thought of it, and then I remembered Berkeley didn't finish it.
I know how it ends, the book. And
because of the TV show, which does not count.
Well, the TV show, but like it keeps going on after that. So like the book is different where it ends. You're really not sure what happens to Offred at the end at all. And then you're just told to guess by the historical notes at the end. I actually read like yesterday that Margret Atwood is planning on doing a sequel to this book.
Didn't she write this book in the 90s?
85, I think, actually. But, like, she's doing it not from Offred's point of view, though, is what I read. It's, like, from, like, 3 different other types of people in this time period.
Berkeley, explain my face.
Allison is startled.
Okay, I think this is a good transition into... Because I thought this was a series. Reading this book, until I got to the historical notes, I thought this was a series.
No.
And then the historical notes came, and I was like...
That darn Margaret.
No.
Okay,
no.
So, Berkeley...
Yes.
Actually, I think we should listen to Allison's first. Allison, rate the book.
Oh. Wait, explain the rating scale.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. 1 cork is... I tasted the wine. I didn't really like it. I didn't drink the rest of the bottle. There's a bottle in my fridge for that, of Allison. Or for Allison, because of that. Or 5 corks, which is like... I drank that whole damn bottle in one sitting. It was so good. I loved it. I would buy it every time, forevermore.
I think this is the first time I'm going to give a book 5 out of 5.
Wow. There's nowhere to go but, like, down from here.
Seriously, I started this book, and I couldn't wait to hear what was next. Mm-hmm. As soon as I got in my car, I played it. As soon as I had a play-in time at school, I played it. I was nervous that people would walk into my classroom and think I was listening to sex, but it was fine.
I mean, you kind of were, but it's okay.
There's really not that much sex in this book, though.
My door locks, okay? That's fine. Anyway, but the deal is like, yeah, I'd sit there and grade papers and just be like, I need to hear what happens next. And then my playing time would be up and be like, shit, 3:30. So far away. But yeah, 5 out of 5. Good job, Margaret.
I love it. Okay, Burke, let's hear it. What'd you think?
I give it 4.5 out of 5.
Okay.
I really don't like the ambiguous end and not knowing what happens to her. I love the series, and I will watch it till the end because it is a great series. If I had read the book before I watched the series, I probably would have... I don't like having to guess what happens to the main character at the end. But reading yesterday that she was writing a sequel to this time period, not necessarily Offred, but like just the other perspectives of this whole dystopian era, it made me like it a little bit more. It may be like 25 years later, but like I like it. I really like this book, and I think everyone who reads it will like it. What do you think, Brittany?
First I want to note that I just realized we never once mentioned the angels in this book.
Oh, but they're a thing.
They're a thing.
Read the fucking book.
Yeah. Oh, there's so many
we don't have
details
time.
We didn't touch. Her mom, the angels, everything. I hadn't thought about my ranking before now, but I'm really thinking a 4. I don't know. The reason I'm ranking it a 4 is because I didn't understand until the end of the book the point of view, the jumping around. It threw me for such a loop, and I wanted to understand where she was coming from, but I didn't realize she was telling it post events. So that was really hard to understand. But I loved the book. I think that the story is amazing. I think that her imagination of the reality was amazing. I think it's a spectacular book. But I wish I would have understood what was going on while I was reading the book instead of
At the end.
Yeah, like I love the end. I think she ended it perfectly. I know you guys really wanted it to be wrapped up in a pretty bow. But in this instance, I liked that it wasn't. I like that, like, someone may believe she didn't make it out and she died. I like that some may believe that she made it out and she lived a happy life in England where they were, like, fighting to free them. You know, like, I don't know. I liked that.
Well, that's the hardest part about this ending is that, like, they're not going to kill her because she's pregnant.
I don't think... You know what? You're kind of right. I don't know.
So, like, there's more to this story.
If she's pregnant. I read that as she was being a romantic. As she was hoping she was pregnant with Nick. I didn't read that as she was pregnant.
What do you think, Allison? Do you think she was pregnant?
Yes.
But I think that comes into you guys watch the series and I don't.
I also kind of come from the point of view that, like, you've been pregnant before. Like, you kind of, like, the next time you're pregnant, you kind of know.
That's fair. I haven't been there either.
Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe she's not pregnant. Maybe she just thinks she's pregnant.
Yeah, I'm with you. Okay, so we obviously all really enjoyed this book. We hope you enjoy it and read it. But we're going to move into our next segment, just to wrap this up for you guys, which is our What the Fuck, High Five, or Sister Citation. Sometimes you do one of each. Sometimes you only do one. I'm only going to... You know what? Actually, I don't want to start. Allison, why don't you do one of yours? I don't know if you have multiple. I remember you saying you have multiple, but why don't you do, like, one and then give Burke a turn?
Burke a Turk.
Okay.
How many do you have, Allison?
3.
Okay. Berkeley, you have one, right?
Yes, ma'am.
We'll go Allison, Berkeley, Allison, Brittany. Allison.
And then Allison again. Okay, so my first...
I love that they let me just decide these things. We're good friends.
My first is a sister citation. And my sister citation goes to Nicoletta. You can find her at Nicoletta. It's Nictoobomb. So Nick to Bomb is what I'm reading. And it says, Sister Citation for unwavering support. Nicobomb, thanks for taking care of people. And the reason I decided to write her a Sister Citation is she wrote a tweet, and I don't know when it was, that said, Ricky, which is her boyfriend, Ricky was just acting like he wasn't my boyfriend at the gym, saying to me, you look nice in those leggings. Can I take you out sometime? This girl that I don't know comes up to me and says, hey, you ready to leave? I informed her, oh, he's my boyfriend. But girl, I appreciate you. So really it's to Nicoletta and the girl who pretended to be Nicoletta's friend at the gym.
Oh my gosh, I love this Sister Citation.
Girls at the gym. It's one of the reasons I don't go to the gym.
Girls.
Honestly. Oh, well, and I'm lazy. But seriously, be more like this. Support people. You don't have to be a girl to support people. If you're a guy and you see a girl being hit on and you're like, ooh, she doesn't seem like she likes that, go up to her and be like, hey, babe, you ready to go? Like,
that's seriously so sweet.
Read
on both sides.
Yes. Yes, it is.
I hope she gave her a big hug.
Oh,
I hope she was like, you are the most wonderful human being and I appreciate you so much.
Yes. I think that's super important. Just, my big thing is be more like that. Be more like that girl.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What do you got for me, Berkeley?
All right. My WTF is to the person that I am buying my house from. I just want you to know that you really, really suck. You do not want to fix the heater. And that is a really, really big deal breaker for me. And I really like that house. And I really want to buy it. I just want you to know I cannot buy it if the heater is broken. So what the fuck are you
you're
doing?
buying it in December, assholes.
Yes, it's literally 2 weeks away. 2 weeks. Fix the heater. What the fuck are you doing? That is my what the fuck. What do you have to say, Brittany?
Well, we're going to switch back to Al. Unless you guys want me to go. I don't care.
Okay,
Allison?
so I have a what the fuck. And it's to somebody, because I can't mention who you are, you bitch. It's to somebody from me. What the fuck were you thinking? Source of bewilderment. Do you think lying is honestly the best way to get me to like you? Okay. Can you help me out here and just stop it and try harder? By the way, fuck you. And I can't really explain that, but it just makes me feel real good that it's out there in the open.
Okay. So is it my turn then?
Yes.
So I'm giving a high five. And you guys can think I'm conceited if you can want to, but I'm taking a page out of this book, and I'm saying that women are important. So this high five is to me, myself, and Mother F and I. I took one for the team. I overcame my mediocrity. I nailed it, and I showed them that I can kick ass at work. I can do it. And sometimes as a whole, the people in my company support me and love me. I choose to believe. But there is an occasional person who does not have the faith in me, whether it's due to my inexperience, whether it's due to the fact that I don't have a dick. I don't know.
Fuck you, by the way.
No, it's okay.
No, fuck
I'm
you.
going to keep proving him wrong. But I kicked ass this week by myself, and I'm proud of myself for it. But also, I would like to say a shout out to my boss, because he supported me wholeheartedly. My, big boss. My boss that was gone this week also, I believe, supports me wholeheartedly, but he wasn't there to do it because he, was unfortunately out. But, I fucking killed it. And I'm proud of myself. And I'm not going to diminish that success because I'm high-fiving myself.
There you go, Brittany.
I'm proud of myself,
girl.
I'm keeping it up. I'm way to going. I'm proud of myself. Those are the boxes. I think I'm going to post a picture of these sheets
You can look for it at
on
us.
our Insta.
Yes. Find us on our Instagram, but that's not till later.
Books Uncorked.
Because I have another sister citation.
You do it, girl.
And this one's very serious, so I need you all to listen up.
I hope it's really funny.
I hope it's really serious. Because it is.
I hate serious.
Oh, shut up. Okay. So, this sister citation says, Sister, thanks for always being right, for unconditional love and unwavering support. Oh, yeah. And Britt, sorry for being bitchy. My attitude was seriously awful. But thank you for helping me put up Christmas decorations in my classroom and stockings for my children, because I had a student leave today who won't come back, and the best thing that I could give him was the stocking that you made. So, I'm not gonna cry.
I know you can't. Can you see the actual tears in my eyes? I always forgive a little bit of a bitchy attitude because I get it sometimes too. We all do.
I know.
And I knew you were appreciative even then.
Just for a little backstory, I was really bitchy to Brittany.
It was rough. It's fine.
I was at school. I was at my work from 7:30 to 10:30. And Brittany stuck it
at
out
night,
with me.
for the record. She's a teacher, so she was obviously there all fucking day already.
Yeah.
It's okay. Man, that was so sweet.
But for
I
real.
think that's 2 weeks in a row you've given me a thank you.
Have I?
Or 2 podcasts in a row. Where you do this bi-weekly, bitches. Okay. Well. Oh, I have to tell you about the next book. Are we ready for the next book?
Yes,
oh my gosh,
let's
you
hear
guys,
about
let
it.
me open up the synopsis. Okay, you guys, I've read this book multiple times. I really love it. I have not read it recently, so I'm hoping I'm still in the place of life where I enjoy it. But it's called it's called Beautiful Disaster by Jamie McIntyre. And I'm going to read the synopsis. It's a little long, but not super long. Also, a little bit of backstory. I really don't have time to tell you this, but I'm going to do it anyways. A couple years ago, I was in a really bad car accident. I broke my leg. I literally couldn't walk for almost 6 months. So I was laid up forever. Couldn't work, couldn't go to school, couldn't do anything. It was terrible. Not for the whole 6 months, but for quite some time. But I literally wasn't allowed to, like, get off of the couch. I wasn't even allowed to sleep in my bed because they were worried I was going to hurt my leg more. I had to sleep on the couch where I could put my leg up. And I just laid on the couch and read books and watched movies and TV shows. It was great. Not really, but I did catch up on a lot of television and book reading. And this is one of the books that a really good friend of mine, Lauren, suggested to me and gave to me, and it was spectacular, and I still have it. So I'm going to read it again. So this book, Beautiful Disaster by Jamie McIntyre. The new Abby Abernathy.
You can do it.
Is a good girl. She doesn't drink or swear, and she has the appropriate number of cardigans in her wardrobe. I have 1 million.
Yeah, what is the appropriate number? More than 5,000? Because
Brittany's got it.
you can never have him. What is the thing that Mean Girls say?
I have no idea.
The limit does not exist.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Okay, Abby believes that she has enough distance from the darkness of her past, but when she arrives at college with her best friend, her path to a new beginning is quickly challenged by Eastern University's walking one-night stand. Travis Maddox, lean, cut, and covered in tattoos, is exactly what Abby needs and wants to avoid. He spends his nights winning money in a floating fight ring and his days as ultimate college campus charmer. Intrigued by Abby's resistance to his appeal, Travis tricks her into his daily life with a simple bet. If he loses, he must remain abstinent for a month. If Abby loses, she must live in Travis's apartment for the same amount of time. Either way, Travis has no idea he has met his match. You guys, I know I don't really have time to explain how much I love this book. It's just reading the synopsis, it's just giving me flashbacks. I closed my eyes. I was savoring it so much. This is a really great book. I read it while I was in college, so I'm hoping, I read it multiple times while I was in college, so I'm hoping I still enjoy it as an adult outside of college. But I truly believe I will. This book deals with a lot of real life hardships, even if you're not trying to date a guy who's fighting in illegal fights. But I really, really hope you enjoy it. It's part of I would say technically it's a series, but really the second book is told from Travis's point of view. And I also read that one and loved it a lot. So I hope you guys love this book as much as I do. I hope you read it before our next podcast, but even if you don't, I hope you listen to our podcast and find out how great it was and then choose to read it afterwards, because honestly it kicks ass and we're hilarious. So even if you never read the books we talk about, I mean, who could ever say it wasn't worth listening to?
Yeah.
You don't even have to download Audible. I mean, for real.
But okay. You do have to download Podbean.
Yeah, you have to download Podbean. Listen to us on YouTube. We're everywhere. We're working on getting on the apps, on the podcast app.
On iTunes.
Yeah, on iTunes. We don't really know how that works, but we're trying.
Yeah, go.
It's IT person speaking.
That's
here.
Literally, just for the record, that's how Allison talks. Sometimes that's not a production for the podcast. Sometimes when Allison doesn't know what she wants to say, but she wants to say it.
That's Allison's job, to figure out how to get us on iTunes.
Yeah.
IT, remember?
Anyway.
Okay.
What the fuck, Allison?
I thought that was a phone ringing.
No, that's my glass hitting the table. Well, hey, also, check out our Instagram at Books Uncorked. There'll be a picture of our setup tonight. It's a little bit different than normal, although I don't think we've ever posted our normal setup. I really liked it, though, guys. Did you like it?
Yes, I loved it.
It's a little warm in here. Next time I'll turn down the air. But it's winter.
Okay. I don't know if I can forgive you. But speaking of Instagram, I would like to say that we would like to shout out those of you who have already followed us on Instagram. So really quickly, we would like to shout out. Oh, fuck. It just fucking went away.
That's okay. You'll bring it back up. But while she's trying to pull that back up, I do want to apologize. Ooh, I had a hiccup there.
I pulled it back
up. We went a little bit over our normal time of an hour. Not a little bit. We went a lot of it over. But I think we would all agree that this book deserved that extra conversation. So I hope you listened to all of it. Send us a tweet, a comment on an Instagram picture, send us an email, comment. We have a Facebook group. I think it's public, right?
Yes.
It's called Books Uncorked.
It is.
Post in our Facebook group. Tell us, if we ran too long, tell us. We want to improve. Comment on Podbean, favorite.
Except this book deserved too long.
There was so much more we could have talked about, and we cut it out because we were going so long.
Read the book and then tell us we went too long. Anyway, thank you, Ewan Feek, for following us on Instagram. We're not laughing at your name. I think you're great.
We're laughing at Allison's pronunciation of it.
Jenny, thank you for following us. Nicole and Kiera, thank you for following us on Instagram.
Kelsey followed us as well.
Thanks, Kelsey.
Thanks, Kelsey, for following us. What's our Twitter, Brittany?
Our Twitter is @BooksUncorked. I have one other quick thing to say before you do anything else. Thank you, Stephen and Anna, for listening to this review. My friends from work. I appreciate you guys.
They don't get a shout out because they didn't follow us on social media.
This isn't a social media shout out. This is a friendship shout out. This is a high five. Boo. I forgot. I appreciate you guys so much. You guys make work so much better, and I love my job, but you guys make it really great. I appreciate you both so much.
Okay, guys, follow us on Twitter. We are @BooksUncorked, and recently we had awesome people follow us, so we want to give a shout out to Podbean. Hey, thank you. Podcast Movement, The Ramblin' Fool, Potty Mouths. They're also a podcast, so is The Ramblin' Fool. Small Town Mentality, also a podcast hosted by Ben and Austin. Shout out to y'all. Mama Bear, Berkeley's mom. Thank you, Patty. We love you.
Thanks, Mom.
Kelsey, we love you, Kelsey. Thank you for following us. And Sack 'em Up Sundays podcast. We want to give you guys all a shout out because we appreciate your support and we also support you.
We hope
you have all the success in the world.
Yeah, that's exactly what I meant.
Also, if you have any suggestions, likes, comments, tweets, obviously you know where to find us, but you can also email us at booksuncorked3@gmail.com.
We still hate you, booksuncorked@gmail.com.
We don't know who you are, but we're after you.
You suck so much.
So many questions for you. Okay, well, ladies and gentlemen, that is all we have for you. And really quickly, I think that there's only one appropriate way to end this podcast. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
All right,
yes.
So blessed be the fruit.
Okay, we'll try that again.
Blessed be the fruit. One more time. Blessed be the fruit.